Good day, everyone. Welcome to the July 2025 webinar. My name is E.J. Makala, and I will be your host today. We're going to get started soon with our main speaker, but I first want to share some information about some upcoming events. As you may know, the UXPA strives to bring high-quality content that is relevant to the UX community. And we host an educational webinar every month, typically on Wednesdays. Next month, on August 20th, we will be hosting Lloyd Hervé II, who will present a topic called Political Design, Shaping the Design Experience Through Individual Influences, Team Structures, and Regulatory Frameworks. And in September, we're going to be skipping our regular webinar to make room for a special one-day virtual summit. And I'm going to pass it over to Rajesh, one of our board members of UXPA International, to describe it. Rajesh, would you please take it away?
Thank you, EJ. We are very excited to share with you that this upcoming event, UX Palooza. This is a one-day virtual conference on September 19, Tuesday. There will be two tracks. One is exploring the user experience in the age of AI with a very interesting presentations and demos, and as well as a virtual networking event as well. Along with this, we will have some career-related presentations as well. There is a lot of stress about AI in the UX professional community, and we would like to explore and then give some tools and resources to recover from that stress. All of these presentations and this event is exclusively discounted for members, just for $10. If you are not a member, we would encourage you to become a member and then take advantage of this. If you're a member, please register today itself, going to expa.org/UXPalooza. Thank you. Back to you, EJ.
Thanks, Rajesh. So now let's move towards the main event. Today's guest is Prashant Dubey. Prashant is a senior designer at IBM, and today we have a more lighthearted discussion. Prashant is going to be talking about the power of playfulness, or using humor to enhance UX in an enterprise product. So if you have a question for Prashant during the session, we are going to have a Q&A session after his presentation. Please use the Q&A button down at the bottom of your screen and submit it anytime during the presentation. And we'll answer it. We'll try to get to it at the very end. Also, we're doing something a little unusual. Typically, we don't have the chats portion open, but because Prashant's presentation is going to be more interactive, we encourage you to use the chat feature as well to answer questions you may have, or just to throw things out. And finally, a recording of today's event is going to be available on the UXPA website, and as well as on YouTube in the coming days. So with that, let me pass it over to you, Prashant. Go ahead, take it away.
Thank you, EJ, and I hope I'm clear, audible. So thank you very much for those kind words and introduction, and to everyone else, welcome to this session. I will quickly share my screen and we will begin. I hope the screen is visible. in a proper way, right?
It is visible in a proper way. Looks great.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for that feedback. All right, so welcome everyone. Power of playfulness and using humor to enhance user experience in enterprise product. Now this entire topic is all about playfulness, and in a serious environment where we design enterprise softwares which are meant to achieve certain objective. Usually by default doesn't call for any sort of even experimentation with humor. Now this can be with purpose, or this can be because of certain nature of the enterprise software. We don't know, but can it be tried? Yes, it can be tried out because of certain things. So before I go ahead, yeah, I think EJ has very nicely done the introduction, so I'll skip that. So before we jump into the humor angle of it, I just wanted to touch upon something about playful. So when you say playful design, playful while designing can be a methodology, and playful after the design has come out. I mean, then it is the element for a user about the playfulness. So it supports playfulness supports both the process of the design and its outcome also. So it reflects how playfully it has been done. So, but when you say playful, I mean, how can you influence the user, the end user, in terms of making them comfortable or making them very natural, just like natural language processing, NLP, which is a buzzword these days. Can we just be human with our with our users? Because after all, they are almost like us. Everybody loves humor, but when humor comes to your mind, I mean, what kind of picture does it come to you? I mean, what do you think? So it's an open question. You can answer in the chat. Like, what comes to your mind when you read the word or hear the word humor? Can we quickly get some answers? I mean, I just wanted to, understand. Okay, delightful connection, sparking joy. Okay, happy. Yeah. So exactly. So it is yeah, fun. Fun is also one of the things that comes to your mind when you say humor. So, and delightful connections. Connections, sparking joy, etc. Those are the words coming, and those are perfectly, you know, uh, or you can say they are the perfect correlations. Relaxed, yeah, of course, because I have never seen somebody somebody unhappy or unrelaxed while enjoying the fun or humor. Absolutely. So I think I have enough context here from every one of you, and thank you for sharing those things here as a part of the answer. Now, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just a feeling, or it's just an expression that humor brings, and mostly it is at the other end of the scale. So yeah, balance out the serious stuff. That's the thing I was looking for, balance outing the serious stuff, because that is what enterprise designs, or you can say enterprise applications, are not meant for that part. And somehow our users, or some of the enterprise product users spend too much of time getting into the serious stuff. Now, I am not promoting that all the time you can have fun, but it's more like a subtle humor. So when I say subtle humor, what does it mean? So humor isn't just about laughter. So when that's the reason why I asked the question, what comes to your mind, humor? So because it's an expression and it is expressed under certain scenarios, under certain situations. So our office humor is in a very controlled environment, and you will be very surprised to find that the humor quality, humor or the way humor is passed on is totally different than with your close friends or school college buddies. There the humor is at a very different level. We cannot even discuss that. So humor is an expression, and it can be injected, or it can be used or utilized to increase the engagement with our end users, or forming a kind of a bond, because some humanized stuff, when it comes out from the other end of the screen, uh, it always connects. It always connects at a personal level. And that's when you not only bond, just like we bond with each other, we bond with there is a potential to get bonded with the application also that you have designed, and that's where the power of humor and playfulness comes in picture. Now, how much to do it? Now, that's a very tricky question, and we'll come to that. But what does it bring to the table? I mean, why do we want to do that? Everything is going fine. So why to try to make our users, even apart from delightfulness, we are also pitching for humor, because it humor creates a moment, most of the time. Moment, as in, I'm not talking about the moments with friends and families, but even while using or consuming any SaaS application or any enterprise application, there is a moment when you get, yeah, you start remembering and you start bonding with the application, because it almost matches to your maybe mental model, maybe the way you express, or with the way you wanted somebody at that time. So such messages can increase that memory and the connection, and also it increases the recall. Now that's a kind of a study that was made by Colorado University, that it increases almost by 43%, and that's tremendous amount of improvement. So this is what humor brings in the picture. Now, how do you ensure that humor is subtle and very well suited or not? Is You can see this very interesting data, that humor can make us more or less relatable. So if some things are not relatable, so for example, if I wanted to delete some files, and instead of asking, "Are you sure you want to delete?" Of course, that's the perfect question. But ready to lose everything, or maybe a different. Are you sure you want to really get rid of all your stuff just like that, or something like it's going to be in thin air at the moment you click OK button, or depending upon the context, depending on the nature of the objective of the application, and this kind of subtle humor can be infused to certain things which are quite relatable. And if anything that is relatable, that generates the humor automatically, and without any effort, the end user receives it for sure. So you can see on the chart that there are different levels through which the humor gets a little viral, or gets into the person. So how much is enough? So this is so you cannot be like too funny, of course, and you cannot be like just a regular stuff when you are really designing something that can make somebody smile, or even just stretch the lips to when you show the message in a very humorous way. So how much? Well, it has to be very balanced. It cannot be like too much or too less. So that's the golden mean over there as far as the amount of humor is concerned. Now, so humor, although it is humor, but then it is definitely a very bold and unconventional method for in search of outstanding results, as any designer would be doing, you know. So these are the things. So when you say HL already stands for human centric, so like your playfulness should be introduced in a way that that really is relatable, as we saw in the earlier chart. Uh, and uh, and with you, what I say is it's unpredictable. So when you try to give a little humorous message instead of, I mean, a message which was expected that it will ask me some, or it will show, or it will throw me a huge set of errors. So instead of that, I mean, something else came, because and that not only informed the user but also created a light moment for the user. So it's unpredictability, just like discoverability in a product is considered as like good for because it just gives you a surprise. Similarly, unpredictable messages in a subtle manner can also be a very good candidate for the end users. And as we discussed already, I mean, any playfulness or anything that uh, creates a nice a moment, or a moment of joy, or a moment of something like, oh, that was really a sarcastic stuff, but then these becomes memorable with the end users. And then the originality. So you cannot be like copying certain things, or just go way beyond and try to do something. But you can be very original here, and because there are no foundations when it comes to writing something that can fit into the design system, but at the same time be communicating with the user at a human level with the original stuff here. So that is the O part of it. And then the resonance, like using relatable, humorous scenarios. For example, say I take an example, like dive into details. Now this section's your gateway to the nitty gritty, and choose your options wisely, and let's embark on design journey together. So something on these lines, when you resonate certain things with by being creative, and by communicating that humorous angle with subtleness here. So okay, so that was so it's so when you say the humor, it isn't just a design process. I mean, being humor or using humor not only for the design but also for the design process. When the humorous part, for example, if I have to say that not only I get the features and I work upon it, but I also joke on it, or I can also create certain I can look at it from a different humorous angle also. And when that happens, it doesn't mean that you are criticizing your product, but you're trying to you're trying to be very critical, and also at the same time you're trying to have fun with the product. And with that, you are not just having that, you are also thinking from a different direction, a direction from where nobody else was thinking. So that gives you the so when you bring in the humor angle while the event in developing, can let you discover some scenarios which you never thought. So humor has that power to bring it up. It will surface on its own when it is used in a right way. And also being humor or getting the sense of humor also demonstrates a good amount of intelligence also. So intelligence is directly connected to being humorous. uh, I can be very I can be very, you can say, straightforward in that. So to get the joke and to create a joke, or create a humorous piece is not a very easy stuff. You have to be like as good as a UX designer or as good as a UX researcher for getting into this. So yeah, hi Johnny. So I just saw your comment, but I bet some businesses might see that as a risky, the unpredictable part. Yeah, I absolutely agree to your view, because as I said earlier, also it is a delicate balance that one has to achieve, and just like we design for personas, in that case also, targeting the persona and creating and crafting some subtle messages which are communicating the message that was intended, but at the same time infusing a little bit of creativity that brings up some joy or some love. I mean, it's the end result is not to be not to bring or crack a joke or bring laughter or LOL moment for the user, but it's just a smile, nothing else, because a lot of things happens internally. Not everything is shown or expressed. So I totally get that, and that's where the delicate balance comes in picture, Johnny. So I did not stop here, and I conducted research, or you can say survey also. Uh, so this story started when I had joined, and then I experienced the entire set of. By the way, I work in infrastructure, that is storage design, cloud storage devices. So when you which is a mission critical, I mean, those are mission critical stuff, and when you try to try even if you try to infuse humor, I mean, that will very soon see a lot of red flags. But that gave me thought that why it is not there, and that's the reason why I started from their point and conducted one research also, with a short survey, and the results were very fantastic. You can see that. I mean, out of all the people, 89% were of the opinion that they love humor. So not only otherwise, but also in the application. And some of them, exciting with all the excitement, shared their evidences also, and that was very heartening to see that. Uh, so so these were some of the questions. And did any of the lighter moment or humorous make you feel less confident about the product's reliability? And this is where a little bit of concerns were raised, because humor has the ability to impact on the overall brand. So not only just like brand is a personality, even if you are trying to infuse humor into it, that has to match the personality. So not everybody can understand each other's humor, because humor also binds people automatically or unknowingly. That you must have experienced that you get along with certain people very well, because they both understand each other's communication way and communication style, and including humor. Similarly, a brand has to be inclined towards the persona. And when you connect with the both, a humorous experiment can definitely take place, and it can have a profound impact, positive impact on the brand, on the product, and of course the reliability. So this is the area which has to be dealt very delicately, because the rest of the things are very clear that everyone loves it, and everyone, or most of us, need it also. So some of the things are like, for example, if you have unsafe changes, are you sure you want to? So maybe hold up, you are leaving some changes hanging, sure you want to dash, or in some other culture, or some in some other personal language, or in some other application, it can take a different turn, or it can have a different way of presenting the same thing. Like storage capacity is running low, heads up, your storage is being bit cramped, time for cleanup. Maybe it's too casual, but maybe it can be toned down a little more, just to clearly send out the message. So that is the one part. And within the design process, how do we implement it, or how do we go about it, is like you can make a humor hill with originality. So as we all know, in design thinking, and at least here in the design process, we create hills, which are the most important one, which are the kind of set the objective of the application, and based on that, the user needs are generated. Which so just like that, can we do the same thing for creating hills for humor? Where are they needed? And a critical or a careful planning can definitely work out in the design process also. So humor at the other end of the table, and delivering to the end users. It definitely has application at both the ends. So I think yeah. So we are at the end of it almost. I will be happy to answer any questions if you have any questions, or any feedback or any suggestion. I would love to answer that, or I would love to hear about that. Or if you had thought about such an idea, or what do you think about it? It will be great to hear some of your feedbacks.
Great, thank you, Prashant. So if you have a question for Prashant about about his talk today, please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen and go ahead and submit it. Any other comments that you might have, you could post it there too, or use the chat. And we have had a few questions already. So Prashant, if it's good for you, I'll just jump in and start asking some of those questions. So let's see. Someone said that I've seen some products use humor effectively as part of their brand. For example, error messages that are lighthearted. I've seen it used improperly too. How should a designer or company properly specify how humor is used for a product brand / internal language? Can it be described in a style guide?
That's an interesting question. I don't see it in the chat. Otherwise, it was a little long question.
Yeah, if I don't know if you see it, but at the bottom of your screen, there's also a Q&A button,
Okay.
and you might see it there. I'll just post it or I'll try to post it if it works. It's not.
I got it. I got it, EJ. So thank you.
You found it. Okay, great.
Okay, I've seen parts of these.
Let me know if you want me to re-ask it.
Oh no, I can read it now. Thank you. So, how should a designer or company properly specify how humor is used in product and brand language? That's a very good question. In fact, it not only in the style guide, of course, it has to be in the style guide as well. But as I said, any product or any brand has a personality. For example, when you look at Coke, or when you look at Mercedes, two extreme examples, but they are brands, right? I mean, when there is a Mercedes brand, or for that matter, IBM brand, you will always bring in a little bit of sophistication, a little bit of seriousness also, but the casual approach goes away. But then, having said that, the humor angle still remains there. There is a different set of or different style of humor which seeps into it. So I think for designers, the study of persona is very important, and understanding those personas in that environment again plays a good role where and by if you study that, if you analyze that, I think then you can set up a tone language for infusing that humor, because ultimately they are the ones who are going to use it. Are they using it while traveling or while having some relaxed time? So if your application is being used mostly at the relaxation time, probably you can have more creative freedom. And if it is a mission critical, then of course you will have to be a little careful. So I think that way you can balance. I tried to answer your question, and that was a very good question anyways. Thank you.
Yeah. So the next question, if you're allowed to share, can you provide an example or two of how humor is used in an IBM product?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I would have loved to do that if there was any sort of humor available. But as far as IBM products are concerned, mostly if they are, as I said, most of them are mission critical, especially in the storage domain. So humor is almost ruled out. But having said that, IBM Cloud does use a little bit, a dash of humor in terms of showing the empty states. So wherever there are empty states, it has started getting a little creative. And there's a reason for that, because IBM Cloud is a B2C product, which will be like, B2B product, but then those audiences are of varied nature, and probably that's the reason why it is a dash of humor has been given into that after a long time. So it is used, but very limited, probably.
So that leads me to another question that I have about how do you measure the effectiveness of the humor? That is it, for example, do you know in this particular example or other examples that you know of, do you test it with audiences and see like, oh, this humor makes the product easier to use, we can quantify that, or that we know that we're using humor appropriately? So is there, I guess what I'm asking, is there a research element involved in this?
Yeah, that's a good question. And in fact, it's just like measuring the user experience, but for humor. And measuring user experience is a subject that is still under research, and it has a lot of unpredictable outcomes, and it is very difficult to understand exactly or pinpoint something. And probably humor also goes that way, but it has to be researched. I mean, you cannot get a log of if somebody laughed or not, or if somebody felt happy or not. So unfortunately, this has to be researched, whether it is working or not, because you surely don't want to gather comments from your users to read the stuff in case if it is not working. If it is working, probably they will never tell you anything. But if it is not working, you will get all loads of stuff. But having said that, I mean, conducting the user research, very deep research user with a focus on whether humor is working and how it is working. That's the only way you can find it out.
Right. And again, we have some questions coming in. If you have a question, please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen and post it. We want to hear from you. So another person asks, doesn't humor depend on culture and other context? And I think you did touch on that in your presentation. How do you make sure that what is funny to one group isn't offensive to others?
Yeah. and that's where the Aristotle chart was there. You have to hit the golden mean, because it's a very valid question, and this is where the humor can go wrong in a very horrible way. Or as I can see, there's a question, any horror stories of humor that went wrong, and probably it will go wrong in a different culture. So sometimes I cannot get the jokes or get the humor behind if I'm watching a web series which is showing American society, for example, and probably the Indian humor is of a different type. Maybe the Americans may not be able to connect to that. So it is definitely culture oriented, totally culture oriented. But then, having said that, there is always a fine balance, and that is why I call that humor is also equal to intelligence, and sometimes with the experience and with the maturity, users start having they most of the time they understand certain set of humor. Even if you talk to a stranger immediately, there will be a dash of humor or laughter, or that goes quickly if you communicate properly. So this is easy to understand, but then achieving that golden mean, the point where things are very easy to digest, and not a lot of cognition is required, because if that comes in picture, your humor is already muddled.
It sounds like you take humor very seriously, Prashant.
Thank you.
Which I guess it should be. I mean,
Yeah.
the professional humorists certainly
Yeah.
do. Um,
Yeah.
This, so and even just in defense of using humor and all of these kind of comments and questions about measuring it and researching it and all the risks that might be involved, that's probably true with anything related to a brand. Right.
Yeah.
So the imagery that you use, the other sort of cultural signals that people might be using, even just with their body language,
Exactly.
and the clothing styles, and those are all probably in the same vein. Is that context is everything.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There's no doubt in that, and it's all about branding. So, and brand, as I always said, brand has a personality, has a life. It's a breathing organism that we create, which doesn't have it does have a life also. It's one of us. A brand, that's how it grows, just like we grow, brand also grows. And you must have seen a lot of changes in brand over a period of time. If you now look back, the branding, the values that a brand carried. So why did that happen? Because of certain characteristics that was injected into that brand. The way it talks, the way it gives a sense of the message, the way it dresses, the way the colors, the way it uses the colors, the way it uses the typography. Everything has a contribution, and some brands invariantly they use humorous language only. Some of the fast moving consumer goods, they rely on humor most of the time. To grab the attention and then pass the message. So humor has a purpose also. So and yeah, when you dilute it, it can definitely find a way in enterprise applications also. So why not?
Okay, so now I'm going to move into a theme of sorts for the questions, and hopefully this won't put you on the spot. But I'm curious about examples. If we can, are there any examples that you can refer to that might be that might demonstrate a good use of humor in a product, especially an enterprise product? That you think like, oh, they have this product does this very well, or they're doing it differently and they're standing out in some positive way. or even a historical example of like how a product has used humor to engage people. Anything come to mind in either in the current day or in the past?
Okay, so as long as the enterprise products are concerned, at least here, the humor angle is not very much alive here, and that's the whole reason why I'm doing all the work in this area. But having said that, I haven't come across many enterprise applications which use humor. In fact, it's very near to, you cannot even count. So it's so less. So that's one of the things. But having said that, humor. I mean, for your question, if I have examples of it, well, no, examples can be created for sure. But then the only thing is that this way of humor has to be it's very contextual. So even bringing up some examples, or maybe for example, a system is now running out of the warranty. Now that's a perfect moment to give a little humorous examples also. The you looks like looks like you have to pay the rent once again. It's time to pay the rent, or maybe you really want to say goodbye. Just renew the warranty, or things like that. So that is one point where you are passing on the message with the humor, because at the other end, uh, if it is mission critical, for example, now the warranty is going to expire in 24 hours. That's not a place where you will be really cracking or trying to be a little humorous over there. So it is based on the time, based on the situation, especially in the enterprise context, because users can be a little taxed also when they see this message. So you'll have to be mindful of it. So all in all, these are the kind of examples I can think of, but I cannot show anything because there are not any as of now, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that makes sense. Another question, and if you don't have an example, that's fine. But if someone wants to know, are there any horror stories of humor that went wrong? Like on the flip side of like, here's a bad example of using humor, and I'll give you even a little like, I think you even partially answered this question, that if an enterprise product used humor, or a mission critical product used humor, that maybe if someone did that may have been a bad decision depending on the context.
Yeah, for sure. Although, as I said, there are not much humor that has gone into enterprise applications most of the time. So going or creating a horror story, forget about that. It has not even created a moment. Also, for that matter, it has just come and it just came and go. So went. So the thing is, horror stories. I can just like a Hollywood movie, I can create one. For example, if there is a uh, now again, from the storage point of view, storage administration, or people working at data center are very focused. They are always in a very serious working environment, and now if one of the zones is going down, or there are hundreds of critical errors that are coming up, and that's definitely not the place where you should be even thinking of setting up a humor. But at the same time, but if a new system is being commissioned, for example, now that's where you can take a liberty to not only initiate the system setup, but also with a dash of humor. So thanks for bringing me home. Let's get to know each other well. Something like that, and initiate that process. So these are the some of the examples and situations I can share so that you can think further on that part.
Right. And something that even just is coming to mind is that other domains, like non-enterprise product domains, I can think of some examples where humor is just part of the general language, particularly I think about in games, like, computer games or other sorts of things, is that it is just ubiquitous. It's part, even within error messages that might occur, there's a playfulness when something goes wrong. Or in even game adjacent products where there might be a communication tool, that there'll be a playfulness in in that. So feel free to comment if you want, but that's just something that is kind of coming to mind, is how it's even ubiquitous in some contexts where people don't want to take things too seriously. Okay.
I'm glad you started thinking on those lines, EJ. So because you're absolutely right, because leaving enterprise applications, rest of the consumer applications, they have the liberty of going a little beyond, because they are the customers or consumers who are well defined, or who are like just like games. They are teenagers, they are full of energy, and they are all set for all the casual mood and fun mood, and that's the perfect point where you can be as humorous as possible, just to initiate the things. So thanks for bringing that. So enterprise is a different beast.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Now, Alex has a question that I'm going to maybe rephrase a little bit. Alex is asking about, I think, social media, and talking about, like, asking if you have a favorite humorous social media brand that you like. And I'm just going to kind of take that, specifically, Alex is asking Wendy's or dbrand. I don't know what dbrand is, actually. I'm not sure if you know what these are. I suppose that's even context dependent. But so I assume that even enterprise products, maybe there's not humor in the product itself, but there is humor can be used in the marketing, or in the communication, in the advertising. Would you say that that's true, or is that problematic also, to use humor as a way to engage people without it actually being in the product itself?
Yeah, no. That's a perfectly valid point. In fact, humor to engage is a way, but then as I said, it can go either way. So that's why it has to be very very cautiously and wisely used. But when it comes to the brand, as I said earlier, also, I mean, it can go very well with the brand, depending upon what is the brand strategy, whether how do they look 10 years down the line. So accordingly, the intensity of the humor can be decided. You cannot be like full-fledged. It has to be balanced very very carefully, so that you can develop that humor in the time to come. And by developing is more like, as we evolve, our sense of humor also evolves. We suddenly we start getting humor in different areas, and compared to what we used to enjoy in earlier years. So that's how the humor also shifts from one place to another place in terms of maturity. So how mature you want to be when it comes to the humor. So so these are all very closely knit with each other, the digital experience and the branding experience both.
Yeah, different dimensions. So it's not just space in terms of places or cultures, but also time. And like what's humorous during one decade is not in the next. And enterprise product might be around for a long time. So, okay. Well, Prashant, a personal question. What got you interested in this topic? What brings you to kind of having a specialty in this kind of thing?
Okay, I'm really glad you asked this question, and now that I'm not prepared with the answer, so it is going to be coming out very naturally.
Great.
Because I always found myself to make fun of my own designs most of the time. Very around 10 years ago, when I was in a different company, and then when the design discussions were in the process, I almost contextualized the discussion and cracked a joke, which was not offensive, but it just created a moment, and that was amazing. Now the thing is, by nature, I am little bit of who likes laughter, who likes to create humor, and who I love to connect the parallels between the real world and the digital world, because at some point of time, if you look carefully, most of the things go very parallelly. There are always parallels to draw between the digital experience and the real life experience. I mean, to begin with the cut and the paste. So it has to be the icon for the cut. It is a real one. I mean, you cannot find any other alternative here. But at the same time, when you try to join the two, you can create humor, and that's what I used to do a lot. And that brought me to this point, that there has to be a way to connect people with the digital experience also, in terms of laughter. Why all these serious messages? Why so serious in the life? Because already we are stressed out, we are burnt out, and then again, could you please click okay? No, I mean, you really don't mean that, right? So why to write such a message? Why can't we be more human? And that is what is drawing me most of the time, to do more into this. So, or can we establish a process to just be a little human, more human, in terms of language, in terms of touching somebody from inside also at the same time. So that's the whole reason behind it, AJ. Thanks for asking this question.
Oh yeah, I bet it's I bet it's fun where you work, especially if I bet your coworkers enjoy having you around, and maybe you add a nice spirit, or maybe your humor is infectious too, and you inspire other people to do the same.
I don't know. You'll have to ask them.
Right, right. Okay, well, Prashant, that we're kind of nearing the close, but a question: how can people stay in touch with what you do and get in touch with you? For example, do you have a website, or are you on LinkedIn or anything?
Oh yeah. So I'm there on LinkedIn. So from LinkedIn, you can always connect with me. We can have a chat, or we can have messages exchanged. Unfortunately, I don't have a proper website, which I'm making right now. So it's taking some time. And that website you should look forward to, full of humor, for sure. Because that's my domain. That will be my domain. So I'm taking some time, but it will be out soon. But till then, this is the best platform. LinkedIn is the best platform to get connected anytime, and I'm
Did you
responsive also. Yeah.
did you say that you do have a domain, like literally like a web domain address that you're going to be using for a website?
Yeah, I do have.
Do you want to share what that is right now? Or it's okay if you don't, if you're not ready, but just curious.
Oh yeah, I will announce it anyways. So because right now you will see 404, and that's not a very good number.
Okay, all right, but people can find you. People can otherwise find you on LinkedIn, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
With the extra A and S in the
With an
name.
X, so PRAASSHANT, right?
That's all. That's the only Prashant existing on LinkedIn with
Okay.
that spelling.
Okay, great. I'm gonna put something on the screen here, so yours is going to come off. Just bear with me
Sure.
for a second, and let's make sure this works. Okay, great. So just kind of wrapping things up, everyone. Just want to remind you about a couple things. At the beginning, we had Rajesh mention that in September we have a major event coming up called UX-Palooza, and that's a virtual conference for one day. That's going to be on Friday, September 19th. You can go to uxpa.org/UX-Palooza to find out more about that. That's spelled UXPALOOZA. Also, next month, our upcoming webinar is going to feature Lloyd Hervé II, where he's going to talk about a topic called political design and how that's related to user experience. And also, today's webinar is being recorded, and you can rewatch it later in the coming days. You can find a copy of this webinar on the UXPA website at uxpa.org/webinar-library. UXPA International also has a YouTube channel where you can find these same videos and even ones going back further than the library. So do check that out. We have dozens of videos there. And finally, if you have any ideas for webinars, maybe you have a topic that you'd like to present, or you have someone in mind or a particular topic, please go ahead and send that in to us. If you go to uxpa.org, you can find a contact us link, and you can send us a message that way. There's also on your screen, I have a special web address where you can submit into a form and send in your specific idea. And with that, that brings today's session to a close. Prashant, I had a good time today, and I really appreciate your presentation. And again, this is I think playfulness is something that we need more of in this world to lighten things up sometimes, which is often things are maybe a little too serious sometimes. And it seems that you're talking about trying to strike the balance or bring the pendulum in a good position, finding that I think you called it the golden mean. So anyway, I want to just thank you for your time today.
It was pleasure. It was my real pleasure, speaking here to every one of you. So thank you so much for being so patient and bearing with me. So maybe sometimes else with some more updates on the humor as I develop it further.
Wonderful,
So,
wonderful. We look forward.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
We look forward to following that. And thanks everyone else for joining us today. And we're very grateful to have you. And with that, thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.